So welcome to Soar Into Your Power and Freedom weekly show. We do this every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. So I want to thank everybody who is going to be joining us tonight. This is our first broadcast on Zoom. We've been doing it on Smile Time, and we wanted to try something new. So just a little bit about this show, Soar Into Your Power and Freedom. This is really for heart-centered entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, coaches, people that really want to expand their consciousness and really want to soar into their power and really tapping into their freedom. And we all want to be powerful. We all want to tap into our freedom. And so we want to create a like-minded community of these entrepreneurs. And so this is really for you. Carolyn Bennett, who is my co-host, is not able to be with us tonight. But so her and I are on the show. And tonight we have a special guest, Darlene Alvarez Mattern. And before we start chatting with Darlene, did I say Denise?
Yes.
Sorry.
That's so
Darlene Alvarez Mattern. I have her card right in front of me. So of course I have to mess up. Sorry about that, Darlene.
It's so funny because it's my sister's name, and it's so funny. I get called Denise so often. It's so funny.
Yeah, so this is really great that we have Darlene joining us tonight. And what we want to do is we really want to bring in different speakers on different topics. And Darlene is a law of attraction coach. You know, she's a mentor, a speaker, a trainer, and she specializes in the law of attraction. And so we wanted to, talk with Darlene tonight and ask her some questions and really have a discussion. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask her some questions, and then at the end we're going to have a Q&A. She's also going to be offering a free gift to all of you. So she will share how you'll be able to get that free gift. So definitely stay tuned, stay until we're done so that you'll be eligible for that free gift. Okay? So, Darlene, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great, Tina. Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun.
It is. So, Darlene, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and, how you got started on this topic, the law of attraction. So why don't you do that?
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, I am a certified law of attraction coach. I'm a teacher, speaker, and trainer. And my focus is on empowering my clients, the people that I speak and teach, to create, to be, do, have whatever it is that they want in their lives. And for me, it's been a long journey. It started when I was young. I was influenced by my mother. God love her. Thanks, Mom. She taught me the power of positive thinking, and she always taught me to believe in myself. And one of the other things that I think was really important is that she taught me to not let anyone identify or tell me who I was or what I could do. So if there was something I wanted to do, and if people out there in the world were telling me, oh, well, you can't do that or you can't have that, she always used to say, no, you decide. And if you believe in yourself, you can make anything happen. And so that was a great start for me as a teenager. And I applied the rule of the laws of the power of positive thinking, and it worked. And so my quest in life then became to, how do I learn more about that? How do I learn how to make that work for me in my life? And so I've done that throughout my life, and I continued trying to understand how to make it all work by trying to understand social relationships. And I went and I got my master's in sociology and taught for many years in sociology and women's studies. And then I found the law of attraction, but not just through the secret initially, but then later on through the teachings of Jerry and Esther Hicks and Abraham. And it's been a transforming experience for me, and it just kind of pulled everything all together. So I just love what I do. I love, knowing that I can, if I focus my attention, if I pay attention to what I'm feeling and thinking, that I can create what I want in my life. And so my goal is to teach as many people as possible how to do that for themselves. And it's a very empowering thing, and it's a very joyful experience. And on the other side, it's not to say that we don't go through the ups and downs of life, but using these laws, there are ways to manage that so that it's not so difficult, and so that things are a little easier. And so it's just for me, it's just a wonderful way to lead your life and, again, to create what we want. Because after all, the things that we want in life, we want because we believe they'll make us happy. So
that's right. That's true. That's
so,
right. Absolutely true.
Exactly. And that's a big part of creating what you want, is to stay in that good feeling place. So
Right. Okay.
I do speaking events, I do one-on-one coaching, seminars, and mentoring. And I just love what I do. And through that, I got to meet you.
I know. And just, to tell the audience, we met at a networking event and a women's networking, and we immediately hit it off. And when sometimes you meet people and you're just connected with that person, and it seemed like, you just have a beautiful smile. I love your hair, by the way. I love that long hair, which I used to have long hair, but it doesn't stay nice and curly like that. Mine just kind of gets bleh. So I love your hair. It's just a beautiful way it looks on you, and you have a beautiful smile. And so we connected right away. And that's one of the things when you go someplace and you just, you don't connect with everybody. There's people out there that you just don't connect, that you're not on that same vibration. And then there's some people that you are on the same vibration, and then you just have a common ground and you just seem to just connect. So that's why, you're here tonight as well, because I just felt that this topic, we talk about positive thinking, we talk about law of attraction, some people have heard it, some people have not. So Darlene, why don't you tell me a little bit, what exactly is the law of attraction?
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are listening that are aware of have either heard, read, or seen The Secret. So it's the idea that what we put out in the universe comes back. And we've heard it in many phrases, like what you reap, you sow. What you put out, you get back. And what the basis of that is the understanding that everything is energy. Everything, you and I, this computer, of course, the desk that you're at, the chair, everything is energy. And in that, like attracts like. Our thoughts, and quantum physics has shown that our thoughts are energy. So when you're focusing on something and you keep that focus for a period of time, what happens is you start to build momentum, and that's the frequency, the vibration that you put out into the universe. What happens is that like energy then attracts itself and draws it to you. So what's really important about the laws of attraction is to remember that whether you're thinking about something you want or you're thinking about something you don't want, whatever you're focusing on, the law of attraction is going to bring that to you. And one of the examples is, for instance, someone will say to me, well, I really want this job, and I'm so tired of where I am, and I don't like the people that I'm working with, and I really want, and I'll say to them, well, listen to what you're talking about. Because what happens is a lot of times when we think about what we want, we end up focusing on what we don't want. So for instance, the person that wanted that job, they kept focusing on the things that they didn't like about that job. So more of that kept showing up, and they're saying, I don't understand. So we have to be careful in the thinking about what it is we want, to make sure that our focus is on what it is we want, not what we don't want. And so it's so important to be aware all the time of what you're thinking about in the moment. The now, as they say, is a very powerful moment. And if you're aware in that moment what you're thinking, so if you're thinking about that job and all of a sudden you find yourself thinking about that coworker you have that you don't like, if you become aware, oh my goodness, I'm doing that. And then you just take your place, okay, well, let me think, what is the next best feeling? The next best feeling is, well, I do like the work that I do. I do like the fact that there are always opportunities. So if you can just shift your thinking into something that's
mindset.
Right, exactly. And what happens is you open up yourself, you allow yourself then to bring in those good things that you want.
Right. And tonight's session is Master Your Mindset. We've just, began 2017. We're all about, how can we shift our mindset? What can we do to really achieve success in your life, your career? And so it begins with your mindset. Let's get those negative thoughts out. I call it inner trash, your head game, whatever you want to call it. But it's how are you getting your thoughts in a way, positive, so you're going to attract more of what you do want. And be careful what you ask for too, because you really want to make sure that you're clear on what you want. And good example that you gave, Darlene, about your job, it's because I've been in jobs that I don't like, and you keep focusing on what I don't like about the job instead of focusing on what's good about it and being grateful that I have that. It could be worse. I mean, I've always said it could be worse, but people have also said, well, it could also be better. Of course, it could always be better, but being grateful where you are right now. There's something Deepak Chopra said, I think I read it somewhere, that you need to be at peace where you are right now.
Absolutely.
In order to move forward.
And that's actually one of the basis of the laws of attraction too. You have to be okay where you are right now before you can move forward. And what all that means is you have to have a sense of gratitude and appreciation for where you are. And then that gives you the opportunity then to move forward. Absolutely. Exactly.
So yeah, so that's great. So I think we learned enough about the law of attraction and great stuff. I mean, you're in a great place, and, you know, to be focusing this, and what positivity that you have. I mean, with all the negativity that's on in this world right now, you know, we need to start sharing more positive, and it begins with you. That's one of the things that one of my mentors has shared with me, is it begins with you. So if there's a lot of negative people around you, well, first of all, you know, toxic people, get rid of them. You know, I know sometimes it's family that's toxic, and it's like, how can you get rid of them? But really, you know, when you have those toxic people around you, if you can get rid of them, that's great. But, you know, just what are you surrounding yourself with? You know, so, you know, just be mindful of that, because the negativity can come in, you know, through what we hear, what we see. And so let's start sharing positive thoughts, and more positive things will come in, because we're manifesting it. Like you said, Darlene, it's all about our vibration.
Absolutely.
Our energy. Everything is energy. Money is energy. I mean, we could have a whole topic about money.
Absolutely.
And how you can manifest money in your life just by your thoughts. So absolutely great stuff. So let me ask you, Darlene, so why do you feel that mastering your mindset is critical to your, and just tell me a little bit about why do you think it's so critical?
To mastering your mindset. Well,
yes.
You know, just the term itself, mindset, it's what that means is where you are setting your thoughts. You know, what are you thinking about? So in order to create success, you have to have your thoughts focused in a particular place. So how are you thinking and feeling about what it is that you want to create? Do you believe that it's something that you can create? Because if we don't believe, like, say, for instance, you know, people say, oh, I want to win the lottery. Well, if you don't believe that you can win the lottery, no matter how much focus you have, it's not going to happen, because you don't believe it. So it's really important, really important to believe in what what it is that you want to attract to yourself, and then to be successful in those in that mindset. It's also very dependent about how you think and feel about yourself. So do you have to have the kind of attitude. This has to be something that you really, really want. And it has to be something that you believe that you can create. And if you have those two aspects in your thoughts, and let that become your mindset, you will be successful. Because the belief in yourself and that you can create it is very positive, and you'll draw more of that to you. And then the idea that this is something that you know that you will create, and that you're not, you know, and that you know it's going to come to you. So you have like this undeniable belief that this is going to come your way, is so very important to the mindset. And when you have those two things in place, then what happens is any obstacles that may come up in your way. So say, for instance, if you're looking to get the promotion, and all of a sudden you find out that your company has decided not to give any promotions in the next 30 days or the next 60 days. Now, that could be a setback where you'd say to yourself, you know, where some people who might be of a more negative thinking may say, oh, forget it, it's never going to happen. You know, see, there, I went for the job, and look, they're not hiring anyone. Whereas the person who has the mindset that believes that they can do that, and they believe in themselves, and they believe in the power of their thoughts, will say, well, this might not be the opportunity today, but you never know what will happen. And if you keep focusing your energy on the positive aspects of that and how that makes you feel, then you will draw that to you. And I'll give you an example. I had a situation with a job that I was in, and the company was purchased and they were acquired. And I was told that eventually that my position would no longer be available. And so at the time, you know, you start thinking about, oh my goodness, that's my income, and I have family, I have, you know, responsibilities, and how will I do this?
Fear comes in.
yeah, should I start looking for a job and all that? And what I did was I said to myself, okay, and you have to allow yourself to go through that process of feeling what you're feeling. This is not to say don't feel what you're feeling. It is, but allow yourself to move through it. Try not to get stuck. So I went through those feelings and, was feeling like the fear, as you're saying, what should I do? And then I remembered what I've learned. And I said to myself, okay, I'm just going to stay positive. I'm going to believe that something good is going to come out of this. And then I decided, well, what is it that I really want? And at that point, I just started thinking to myself, well, here's a perfect opportunity for me to do my coaching full time, because at that time I was only doing it. I had 2 jobs. So I was ready to commit myself to it full time. And I said to myself, well, in one way or another, this is going to provide me an opportunity to help grow my business into what I really want. Well, to make a long story short, and I just kept that attitude of trying to see something positive in everything that I was doing. So I was appreciating things that I was learning at my job. I was appreciating the nice people that I worked with. I was appreciating all the experiences that I had had up to that point, and just kept doing it. Even when things got really difficult, when you hear everybody talking about, oh, they're going to let this one go, or they're going to let that one go. And, it's a really very stressful time. I would go into my office and I would take a few minutes just to even write down something positive. Like, I'm so happy I have the love of my family. I'm so happy that I've met so many nice people. Well, what happened was not only, so they did end up, I did end up losing my position, but what happened was one of the vice presidents that I worked with offered me another position to work on a special project from home. So I would no longer have to commute. I was commuting 50 miles one way. So I would no longer have to commute. I could work from home, same salary, and it would take me, and that would last me for another 3 months.
Wow.
So, and at that time, being able to work from home and not having to commute, I could take that extra time to work on my business. So it all worked out so perfectly. And I had no idea that that's what was going to happen. So it's as what they say with the law of attraction is that if you keep your thoughts in a positive place and try not to worry about the details, the universe will fill in those details for you. And that's exactly what happened to me. So it was such a great experience. And it just showed me one more time, how important it is to focus your thoughts on what it is that you want. And if in focusing those thoughts on what it is that you want, if you feel sometimes it's hard to get into that good place because maybe what you want isn't manifesting, then think about something else that's positive for you. So like I said, when I went into my office, I wrote, I'm so fortunate that I have such a loving, wonderful family. And that made me feel so good. It always makes me feel good when I think about them. So even if it's, the thing that you want is kind of causing some anxiety or stress and you can't seem to move yourself to that place that feels good about that, think about something else that makes you feel good. Because in that feeling good place, you allow then more good things to come to you. And you don't have to know all the details. The universe will figure that out for you.
See, that's a good, and I know we say, don't attach yourself to the outcome, like, just do it. And so like, with me, when I, teach my clients about discovering your passions, it's, putting your intentions out there. You're creating our life. And so set out the intentions, put your attention on it, focusing on it. Okay. And then letting it go, no tension. So let it go, because the universe, like you said, will take care of it, but always having those positive thoughts. It begins with you. Yes, fear, we call it the saboteurs. There's always things that are trying to sabotage us, the doubt, the fear, those worrying. I'm a infamous worrier, have done a better job at it, but I used to worry all the time about money. And so I've done amazingly 360 on that. And it's funny how when you stop worrying and you're just putting your thoughts and saying those positive affirmations, like money's everywhere. I'll say money's everywhere. I have paying clients. Right. Someone will sign up for a workshop of mine, or money just comes unexpectedly for my husband and I, that just shows up unexpectedly, that didn't even plan it. And I'm like, wow, this stuff really works. It just amazes me sometimes. Like, I cannot believe it. So we put it out there. So great stuff that you just provided, Darlene, about how you feel that mastering your mindset is so critical to your success. So beliefs, your attitude. I mean, we could have a whole topic on beliefs, how we limit ourselves with our beliefs. Right. We have these ideas in our head that things are going to go a certain way. And then when they do happen, then you say, well, see, I told you. Well, no, because you put it out there, those beliefs that you have. And, habits, I mean, I always say it's our childhood experience, it's how we are raised, the influences that are in our life create a lot of our beliefs,
Absolutely.
that we put out there as adults. So that's part of it, is my opinion or my belief. So I know you shared a little bit about how is mastering your mindset been helpful in your life. Just the story that you shared about your job. Any other examples about how mastering your mindset has been helpful in your life?
Yeah,
because you shared us some good stuff.
Yeah, there was there's been quite a few experiences, as I said. Thanks to my mom, I've been practicing this in some form or fashion for many years. But one of the ones that I thought would be a great story to share with your audience is I was originally I was born and raised in New York, and I lived there till I was in high school, and my mom moved us to California. And I had,
wow.
So I lived in California for a good 20 years before we came back to the East Coast. And I had the blessed fortune of meeting my husband and my best friend in California. And I'm such an East Coast person, and I always told my husband that if we had kids, I'd want to move back to California, back to New York, to the New York area, and raise our children here. So the time came, and this again was one of those things that was just something that I wanted to do, and I just kept holding it in a place that it would happen, and eventually it did happen. And at that time, I had applied to graduate school at UConn. And so, and I got accepted. So we were moving, I was starting graduate school, and, all this, and 2 kids. My daughter was in middle school and my son was in elementary. And so we come cross country with, 2 kids and a dog and a cat. And we, at the time we were living in Sherman with my mom while we were looking for a home. And so I got in the car and said, okay, well, I'm going to go out to the university today, and I'm going to, see where it is and all that. And I got in the car and didn't realize that it was a 2-hour drive from where I lived. And then when I got there, I also found out that of my cohort, I was the only one that wasn't funded. So on the way home, I was so emotional and so upset, because I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this 2 hours away? And now I've got to come up with thousands and thousands of dollars for my education. We've just moved here. We have to buy a house. I have 2 kids. I have college funds. All this.
Oh my gosh.
So I was really, again, it's just so important to allow yourself to feel what you need, what you're feeling. So cried the whole way home. And then when I got home and got through all that, I just decided, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. The money's going to come. Somehow it's going to work. I just know it's going to work, because this is what I really want and what will make me happy.
Yeah.
Well, within the next 2 weeks, not only did I get funded, one of the professors in my department, his research assistant resigned. I applied and I got the position. And so then I was funded, and then I also got a stipend. And before I finished my graduate work, I was the only student to be teaching before I had done my master's thesis. So it was an amazing experience. And
that is great.
And because I remember going home and talking to my husband and saying, it's this many thousands of dollars for me to go to school. And he just looked at me and goes, Darlene, how are we going to do that? And I just said, I don't know, but we're going to, and we started talking about student loans and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not, I'm not doing this. This is going to work one way or another. I know something's going to happen. And sure enough, as I said, a few days later, I got the interview with the professor. I got the research assistant. I was funded, stipend. It was fantastic. And so I learned from these experiences that, allow yourself to feel the feelings that you're feeling. And it's interesting, you mentioned the feeling of fear before, and that comes in so often in our lives. And I heard Marianne Williamson talk not too long ago, and she was saying that in A Course of Miracles, there's, from the book A Course of Miracles, there's really only 2 feelings, and it's love and fear, and they're on a spectrum.
Yes.
So if when you're feeling that fear, if you can somehow turn it around to moving towards love, and that is loving yourself, believing in yourself, and knowing that the universe loves you too, and that well-being is always flowing to you. And if you can keep yourself in that place, then you open up the opportunity for that to come to you.
That's true, and that's a good advice. So Darlene, what would you say is the fastest way that someone can improve their mindset? I mean, if someone is it's all great what you're saying, but sometimes we're not feeling that way in the positive. So what do you think is one of the fastest way that somebody can improve their mindset to go into that positive direction, even when things are not going our way, which a lot of times it's not going our way, and you get frustrated and you get really
Absolutely.
just stressed out. And
right. Well, one of the first things that I think is really important in anything that you're trying to manifest in your life is you have to be aware of what you're thinking and feeling. That is the first place to start, because whatever you're thinking and feeling, that's what you're sending out. And once you're aware of that, if you can do whatever you can to shift that into feeling something, even if it's just a little bit, to feel a little bit better, that will help to shift your feelings. Meditation is another really great way to do it. I know a lot of people may not meditate, but that's a great way to do it. There are things to do where you, Abraham Hicks talks about the book of positive aspects. So you can sit down and start writing the things that you appreciate, the things that you're grateful for. And one of the other things that is really important that so many of us do is that when things aren't going right, we have a tendency to beat up on ourselves. We have a tendency to start saying, see, I told you, you can't do this. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You don't have the experience. This isn't meant for you. If it was meant for you, it would have happened already. And we just go down that road of, oh my God,
of self-pity, playing the victim.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't do this.
Exactly.
Why am I doing this? Yes.
Right. Yes. And that is all based in fear also. So if you can be, the most important thing to anyone who is listening is to always be mindful of what you're thinking. And in that moment, try to do whatever you can to shift that feeling. And I think those are two of the most important things that you can do to help, especially if you're feeling stuck and you're feeling like you're not getting anywhere. And as I mentioned before, if in that moment you're feeling like, I can't think of a better thought about this, then don't. Let it go and think about something else that makes you feel good. Through some of those times in my life, what I would do, especially when I was feeling, I can't see the end of the road, I can't see the light in the tunnel, what I would do is think about my kids. I've been blessed to have two wonderful children. Our family's always been very close, and when I think about them, I just smile because we just
true.
So that would always make me feel better. So whatever it is for you, if it's going outside in nature, if it's going outside and throwing the ball for your dog, if it's playing with your kids, whatever that will make you feel better and shift is the best thing that you can do for yourself.
Okay, great. So Darlene, we're getting close to wrapping up, but one of the last questions I'd like to ask you is, what are three tips that the audience can walk away with tonight to master their mindset? What would you say are the three tips?
Okay, well, the three tips that I think are really important in mastering your mindset is, number one is you have to get clear about what it is that you are wanting, what it is that you want to create. And what I mean by clear is sit with it and think about as many of the details as you possibly can. So say, we've been talking about, I know that you work with a lot of people in terms of their careers and manifesting what they want in their entrepreneurship or in their business careers. So think about that job. Think about it down to the detail of where your office would be, who you would be interacting with, get all the details of what it is that you want, first and foremost. So get very clear about what it is that you want. And then the second thing is that you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that this is something that you can make happen. And just as a note to all of your listeners, I believe that the energy that created everything created you and I, and we are a part of that energy. And that energy is streaming well-being to us all of the time. And what that means is whatever we want in this life that will make us happy is always flowing to us. And that source is always calling us to it. And the thing that keeps it from us is our own thoughts and feelings. So if you can keep yourself in that place, you can stay clear about what it is you want and believe in yourself that, yes, I can have this, I'm worthy of it, I can do this. Then that's the second tip that I would say is absolutely imperative to doing what you want. And then the next thing is to be determined even in light of challenges. So even when things come up and the roadblocks come up and they may seem to you that, oh, there's no way of getting over that. Remember, you do not know everything that's going on in the universe in terms of how things are
Exactly.
happening out there to bring you what you want. So if in the light of challenges, you can hold on to that belief and be strong and continue to move forward, then I guarantee you that that mindset that you have, that belief in yourself, your ability to move forward beyond those obstacles and keeping your thoughts and feelings in a good place, you will create what you want. Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly. So great stuff. So, Darlene, so what gift do you have, or how can, I know you have a free gift for the audience
Yes,
tonight,
and it's a
and
surprise.
that's a surprise. So how
Yes.
can someone take advantage of your free gift? How can they connect with you so they can learn more about you and get their free gift?
Sure. So what you can do is, if you'll go to my website, which is Create With Your Thoughts, all one word, createwithyourthoughts.com, and send me a note from the website with your email address, and then I will go ahead and send you your gift. And if not, you can see me on Facebook, also under my name, Darlene Alvarez Mattern, and Create With Your Thoughts, and leave me a message or email me at damattern@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to send your gift to you.
Great.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you, Darlene, so much for joining us tonight. And this has been great. I hope that the audience, I'm sure, has learned so much. Your tips that you shared, how to be successful in mastering your mindset. And this is Tina Kadish. My business is Life is Ideal. I'm a freedom strategist, and I help you to achieve freedom in 3 ways: to be happier, to make money, to be wealthier, and of course, to be healthier as well. So I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and I hope that everybody tunes in next week when we talk about daily rituals, how to be successful with some tips. So tune in next week at 8 o'clock so we can learn more about daily rituals. Thanks, Darlene.
I just want to say thank you